QC, that's where we work best when we're together. QC, that's where is brought to you by a partnership with the Quad Cities Chamber and Visit Quad Cities.
The Quad Cities Chamber has a new president and CEO with a goal of seeing the people and businesses of the Quad Cities thrive and succeed. Peter Tokar is joining us in studio now. Peter, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I've enjoyed, for the 2-minute break that we just had, I've enjoyed learning all about you. So we appreciate you coming on today. You've had about 2 months.
Yeah, right about the 45-day mark.
Yeah.
Almost 2 months.
Almost 2 months on the job here in the Quad Cities. Talk a little bit, though, about your extensive background in economic development.
So I'm approaching 20 years in economic development. So I began my career in South Florida working with local municipalities, with regional economic development organizations, really on crafting programs and initiatives that help kind of economic vitality in the city to bring new businesses, bring job training programs, deal with workforce issues, all the fun stuff that goes to growing a regional economy. And from South Florida, I've kind of migrated north ever since. I spent some time in Atlanta and Dallas, and now here in the Quad Cities.
You're making your way north. Yeah, it brings a unique perspective as you do come from outside the Quad Cities. So you've worked in a lot of different regions. What specifically drew you to this area and this region? Well,
the Quad Cities, I mean, I'll be one of the first people to say before I looked at the position for Quad Cities, I didn't know what it was. Right. But once I looked into it and once we found it, my wife is my R&D person, and she said, "Oh, you need to look at this job. Look at this. It's really interesting." And so I looked into it, and when I started researching the region, all the different things that were here, all the opportunities, and then finally when I applied to interview and they brought me up for an interview, we were just blown away with the community and the character that this community has, and from a business perspective, the opportunity that's here. Yeah. It's really amazing, and a lot of people have told me that I've met who've been here for a very long time. They're like, Quad Cities is the best kept secret, in the Midwest. And I said, well, heads up, I'm about to tell everybody your secret. We're about to blow the lid off that secret.
Blow the lid off that secret. Well, yeah, of course, because we want people to know about how great we are here in the Quad Cities, and that's part of what you're coming here to do. So you talked professionally about why, it seemed like such a great fit. Talk a little bit more personally about, why your family really thought this was going to be an awesome move.
Sure. So my wonderful wife, Melissa, we have 4 kids together, 9, 8, 6, and 4. So that's where all my gray hair comes from. Not from the job, but from my kids.
I understand.
But, when we were looking for a place, not only for me professionally, something very important to me is my family. And so when we were saying, well, we have young kids, where is a place that we could potentially raise our kids? Where's a place that's going to provide for the needs for our kids? 2 of my kids are special needs, so that's one of the considerations that we look in as well. But every single box that we needed to make a family move, the Quad Cities checked. From just a quality of life, from the things to do, from the natural environments, from the kids' activities, all sorts of activities, even the surrounding areas within a meaningful drive. It's all right here, and it really provides for everything our family needs.
Love that. Okay, so talk about a few of the things, the top things, I guess, that you would like to accomplish here in the Quad Cities.
Sure. Well, first of all, develop, the Quad Cities has already had a lot of success. It wouldn't be what it is without what's happened in the past, but where I see one of the biggest opportunities is sharing that success with the world. Again, I said this region has so much opportunity from a business perspective. I just think the story hasn't been told loud enough and far enough. And so one of the things that we're trying to do with the Quad City Chamber is take a look at all of our economic development activities. What are we doing from a marketing perspective? What does our talent pool and workforce pipeline look like to bringing skilled labor here for our employers, and also organically growing employment here amongst the region? And then what are the opportunities for lifestyle development? One of the main things people are looking for at destinations is, what can I do there? What kind of recreational opportunities are there? What new developments are coming up that will kind of inspire that next generation to move here and want to be here? So we're doing that evaluation right now, and we hope to put that into a renewed value proposition that then we can take, nationwide to really start showing people what the Quad Cities has to offer that we all locally already know.
That sounds great. So you've been spending the last few weeks, touring different places, talking to different businesses, business owners, and just residents of the Quad Cities. What kind of feedback are you getting when you ask these people what they'd like to see?
It's a pretty consistent message across the board. Everyone kind of agrees that this place has held so much opportunity for so long, and it's kind of a question of why aren't we getting anything? But everyone, nationwide, one of the issues is employment. Obviously, a lot of employers need more qualified, skilled employees. And so, you know, through the Chamber, we have a lot of programs that are helping work with our community colleges and our universities on apprenticeships and on getting people placed in those communities. So employment's always the #1 issue, and mainly a lot of just regional collaboration. How do we work better together as a region? You know, we are a very unique area that we have 2 states that represent our region with the river just separating us, but what is it that we can be working on and collaborating with together on both sides of the river to really be more of a one region? And a lot of people, a lot of businesses had said, we need to do more with collaboration.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so before we let you go, I read a little bit. We want to talk about what else you want the Quad Cities to know about you. I read that you are an avid snowboarder.
I have been for...
You spent a lot of time in Florida and Georgia, but you like snowboarding.
Yeah, the great mountains of Florida. No, but I've been snowboarding for about 24 years now, ever since I was a teenager. So
very cool.
I haven't broke too many bones, so I'm still going.
Well, we got some spots here in the Quad Cities, of course. You like to golf. We have great spots for that. So, and I wanted to bring this up before we ran out of time. You recently authored and published a children's book.
I did, yes.
That's amazing.
Inspired
4
by
kids will do that.
Inspired by my children, yes.
Oh my goodness.
It's always been a something that I've tried to. I've always been a creative person. My undergraduate degree's in graphic design, and so my kids really inspire me. And so, you know, my oldest son, being on the autism spectrum, he has a lot of things that he has to deal with in his personal life, you know, from a development perspective. And I thought, what better way to help share with others kind of some of the family dynamics that we go through on a daily basis than putting that into a story, you know, that tells kind of what his struggles are, that hopefully I can help others.
You know other people are dealing with it too.
Absolutely.
What's it called?
It's called Grumpalumpagus.
I wanted to have you say it in case, I messed it up.
It's about a dinosaur who's grumpy because he doesn't like to interact with others.
Yes.
And then once he finds out that he can have fun doing that, he's not a Grumpalumpagus anymore.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
A reminder for everybody watching, you can take a look at upcoming QC Chamber events by heading to quadcitieschamber.com. And to learn more about the QC That's Where initiative, visit qcthat'swhere.com. Peter, thank you so much again for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You clearly have a passion for what you do, so thanks again.